Congratulations on the victory. I'm sure much happier finish for you than your last time here. So I guess, what are the emotions now after? You didn't strike me as someone that paid too much attention to what people were saying, but post-fight, sure seems like you had some things to say.
Yeah, I mean, immediately post-fight, I felt like, oh, wow. Damn it, stop knocking people out. I need that bonus. These guys keep knocking people out. Yeah, I mean, I just got transported back to a year ago, MSG, getting some boos from the crowd, so I had to let them know how I really felt.
That head kick, how often do you actually practice that?
Oh, every day. Yeah, that's a Mike Brown signature, Mike Brown special. Him and I have been working on that probably since I started fighting and, came out in the fight. So grateful that it worked out.
In that first round, when you grabbed him, it seems like you were because you said it, I think, in a couple interviews before, like you needed to be more violent or at least more aggressive when you got your hands on your opponent. So was that just kind of a message, like you snatched him up, you threw him down, and you were kind of landing some pretty big bombs right out of the gate?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that last fight was really big for me and changed my mindset from going in and controlling to going in and doing damage. Obviously you got to control first, but that lead into damage from there. And it kind of sucks, to be honest. It's like my least favorite part of fighting. I love the strategy and the discipline and the commitment and everything it takes to be a world-class fighter. Hurting people is not on the top of my list as far as like fun things for me. But it's part of the sport. It's what we signed up for, and yeah, it is what it is.
Is that why after the fight and you got off the cage, you kind of kneeled down in front of Rodolfo until he stood up?
Yeah, you just hate to see that, a guy, down like that. I have a lot of respect for Rodolfo. He's a great fighter and seems like a really great guy, nice guy. And you don't want to see that, and it's just unfortunate, but it's part of the sport.
And then why did you feel the need to address the crowd in the way you did up on the cage?
Yeah, just feeling like I had something to prove. I have a chip on my shoulder. I think that I wish I was a little bit better person, but I'm not. I'm very competitive, and I'm just a guy. So, I'm out here trying to do my best, but get a little emotional out there when you're fighting in your underwear in front of millions of people. So, yeah.
Did it feel good to kind of clap back at them up there, kind of give them the two-finger salute?
I felt like I was just standing up for myself a little bit, It's like, they're going to jaw at me and give me crap, then, I'll give it back to them a little bit. So, I don't look at it as anything other than just standing up for myself a little bit. It's not personal at all. It's just, let them know how I feel.
And in terms of your own career, I guess, when do you want to get back in there, and I guess how active do you want to be next year?
I would love to be super active. I want to get back in there ASAP. It's tough because I definitely want to be on that June card at the White House, so, kind of trying to figure out what's best in regards to making that happen. But I love fighting. It's my favorite thing, just getting to train every day, improve, get better. That's all I'm focused on, all I'm worried about. And, yeah, I'll take probably a day or two and then get back in the gym.
Are there people you want to fight? Because it seems like outside of the champion, you're the one that middleweights talk about the most between their own fights.
Yeah, I get called out like every other weekend.
Got called out earlier today by Reisinger.
I heard about that. Somebody said something about that. But, yeah, I mean, it's every weekend I get called out. So I'm a popular guy. These guys they like me. They want to get in there and hang out with me. So, that's just, I guess, comes with the territory.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Bo right here. During media day, we asked Rodolfo, was this, he's this great jiu-jitsu guy, you're the great wrestler. Was he defending BJJ against wrestling? And he said, yeah, I think so. So back to you. Do you feel like you were like defending the honor of particularly USA wrestling versus BJJ?
Every time I go out there, I feel like I'm representing, obviously, my family, my school, Penn State. I'm representing wrestling, and that's something that is near and dear to me. And so, every fight, I feel like I'm trying to put the team on my back in a sense, and that's fun for me. I enjoy being the one that gets to go do that, and that's why I work as hard as I do. I sacrifice a lot to be able to go out there and perform to the best of my abilities and to the best of that I'm capable. And so, representing all the people that have, loved me and cheered for me and supported me and from, again, family and from my church and from, Penn State and the wrestling community is a big honor.
I would say I asked you during media week, are you going to take down Rodolfo? A lot of people saying that you shouldn't grapple with him. That's, a no-no against that guy. Was that like in the back of your mind where you're like, no, I want to prove these guys that, not only can I take him down, I picked him up, I slammed him, I kneed him in the face. Like, was that like in the back of your mind?
I mean, I think that going into this fight, I definitely felt like I had a chip on my shoulder. I wanted to prove something, and I was just looking to go out there, do as much damage as I could, which it's not fun again for me, but that's part of the sport, and just fight in all positions. So, I felt like the takedown, it was there, it was easy, it was not forced, and made it happen. And then the striking, I was able to land a lot of clean stuff and do a lot of damage. So, it felt good to be able to put those skills on in my performance.
When you fought Cody Brundage, you said you weren't too happy with your performance. What's your overall feeling about this one? I mean, like, you showed striking, obviously kickboxing, takedowns.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I performed really well. I think that I'll have to go back on the film and see, what mistakes I made, as I'm sure there were a lot of mistakes, and kind of judge from there. I think my fight with Cody Brundage, it was a little easier to tell, like, what I did wrong, for me at least, because there was a lot more grappling in that case. But overall, I feel like I performed well, and my effort was there, good attitude, and was professional the whole fight camp, the whole fight week, and so I feel good about it.
Two more from me. Speaking of grappling, at one point he shot a takedown on you, and you looked like you had a guillotine. How close were you on that one?
I was pretty close. I had it pretty deep, and I felt like had I jumped guillotine, maybe I would have got it. But I learned my last fight that maybe that's not the best route, especially against a world champion Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So, I just kind of used it to control the positioning, and yeah, it was tempting, but I held off. Learned my lesson.
A year ago, I asked you about fans, and tonight you kind of played into the villain role. But a year ago, you said, "Hey, I'm a nice guy. Like, I want to win fans over." So, like, what do you have to do to win fans over, or do you want to play the villain?
I will say my mindset has totally changed from trying to win fans over. I think in wrestling, I was so used to like everybody just loving me, which sounds maybe a little arrogant, but that's the reality of what it was. Like, I built my reputation over 2 decades in the sport, and so people love me and enjoy me because I had proven myself. Coming into MMA, I'm new in this, and so I haven't proven. I feel like I still haven't proven myself. This was a good step in the right direction, but I'm definitely not trying to win anybody's approval or anything like that. It's just the reality of life that not everybody's gonna like you, and you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna stand up for myself, stand up for what I believe in, and yeah, I'm betting on myself every single time.
Just to correct you, I don't think Ohio State loved you.
It's funny because there's a lot of teams, Ohio State, Iowa, Oklahoma State. Like, I beat a lot of their guys, and so I'm sure it's frustrating. But after every single match that I ever had, I always had fans from other teams coming up to me. And in wrestling, it's like, oh, we're gonna root against you, but it's respect at the end. Like, oh, I love watching you, respect. If you're not competing against Ohio State, you're my favorite wrestler, that type of thing. So, wrestling is just a tight-knit sport like that, to where you can compete against each other in a heated battle, heated rivalry, and still have respect for each other and wish each other well, and even be fans of each other at the end of the day.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Bo, do you want this to be the last chapter that you have in Madison Square Garden? You give them the one finger salute and see you later.
Right off into the sunset, right? No, I would love to fight at MSG every year. I think that it's an amazing, amazing arena. The people here are insane. New York is different. It takes a different type of person to be able to compete here. I've been fortunate to have competed here 3 times now. 1 wrestling and 2 in fighting, and it's unreal. It's so fun, and I enjoy it, and hopefully I have a lot more opportunities to compete in the Garden.
I don't know how much you get the chance to walk around the city in those times that you've been here, but I mean, what kind of reception do you get from people in person when you're just kind of walking around?
Always positive. I say this a lot of times to people. I've never one time had a negative interaction in person with anyone. Never had a fan say anything to me, react negatively, say anything, not once. It's mostly online. Obviously, I've had a few boos and fights, but never had anybody do anything disrespectful to my face. Walking around New York, I was grateful that this morning got to walk around, see the city a little bit, and people coming up, asking for pictures, telling me that, they love me, they want to see me win. All my reception in person has been positive. I think it's just bots out there. So it's probably all bots. Maybe I'll just believe that.
And the people in the arena.
Could be bot. It could be AI. I don't know. There's big speakers. Who knows?
Could be. I mean, in that sense, it almost sounds like you're drawing some similarities between the wrestling community and those fans and that kind of thing, and the people that at least you interact with in person and in the MMA community.
Yeah, totally. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's all good. I think it's sport. People want things to be excited about. They want things to be upset about. It's entertainment as well as sport, and I think that as a competitive person, as a normal guy, like, it takes time to get your head wrapped around that. And for me, I want to go perform to the best of my abilities every single time, and I believe in myself. And maybe I tend to be arrogant, or I don't know what people would think of as overconfident, but that's just how I am. That's how I've always been, and I'm not going to stop. And it's taken me to this point, and I'm going to just continue to use that as fuel and motivation to work hard every day and keep getting better.
One thing I want to circle back to is, obviously you are eyeing that White House card, which sounds like June, could be a different time, that kind of thing. But, I mean, how realistic could it be for you to turn around and get back in there in 3 months or so and then be ready to turn it around again in 3 months? Is that something that, looks realistic to you?
Yeah, it's realistic. I got to talk to, management team, talk to the UFC, see what makes sense. And I want to just keep improving and getting better and moving forward with my career. Really, at the end of the day, for me, don't feel like I'm in a rush because I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. But getting out there and fighting is the most fun thing in the world. I enjoy it so much. So as many times as I can do that, I would love to.
Bo, congratulations. Not only did you get a win today, Penn State football also got a win.
Big win.
I know a little bit of a different question here, but if Pat Kraft called you up and said, who should they hire as the next head coach for the football team, who would you go with? What would you tell him?
Probably Cale Sanderson. He's had some success at the NCAA athletic level. I don't even remember, 15 national titles, something like that. So get him in there.
John Orr here from Tunnel Vision Sports here. Kind of to speak about the Penn State aspect, they come to, we are in New York. They come to Rutgers in a few weeks. Is there any way possible Bo Nick, makes an appearance at that game?
Man, I would love to. I got a wife and kids at home, so it might not be looking too good for me. I spent a lot of time away from him for this camp, sacrificed a lot, and right now I definitely want to go back home and spend as much time with them as I can.
And also, you speak about having the most confidence in the world about yourself. What does a win like this kind of on the stage that you've, in Madison Square Garden, what does a win like this kind of instill in the confidence in you?
Yeah, just, confirming my belief in myself that if I continue to put the work in and put the effort in, that I'm going to be able to go out there and perform at a high level. My confidence and belief, it comes from the fact that I've sacrificed so much since the age of 5 to, be as good as I can be at the sport that I compete at. And it's just experience over time and a lot of effort, a lot of hours, a lot of people that have poured into me and helped me so much. My coaches, Ailton Barboza, Mike Brown, Coach Ton, Anthony Cassar, Cale Sanderson, my dad. These guys all have a massive impact on me, and they help in that area as well, just giving me confidence. So, for me, it's not just like something that is like there just because it's there, for a reason. And a fight like this just adds to it.
Bo over here. I heard there was a story about how after your last loss at church, there was a group of people who prayed over you. How powerful was that? And tell me more about that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I'm really fortunate and blessed to be in an amazing community. I attend a church called the Calvary in State College, PA, and one of the pastors at the church asked before I left for this fight if they could get a group together and pray for me. And it was a group of about 10, 12 guys. They all prayed for me for about 10 or 15 minutes, and it was really powerful. I felt like that was something that felt just the power of the Holy Spirit kind of surrounding us. And it wasn't asking for a win or anything like that, just more so for me to be able to honor and glorify him, perform to the best of my ability, and make the most of the gifts and the blessings that I've been given. And for me, that's really the foundation of everything I do is my faith. And, being able to go out and fight is a massive blessing, something I'm super grateful for. And I just feel like, God is watching over me, and he's teaching me lessons through this, right? Like fighting is big and it's very important to me, but it's just something I do. It's not my identity or my foundation.
Congratulations.
Thank you.